Yeah, Mr. Wooquintus, the thing is though, bro, with Euphoria, it's very tough. Because when you say, oh, we got to feel sentiment. Yeah, whose sentiment? It's split. There were many people in 2021, they never hit Euphoria. Many people. To see Euphoria, you have to like look at other people. But then people say, oh, no, that's just one corner. So you don't know, bro. Like, look at 2024. People remember dildo. Oh, many people said, hey, man, cycle's over. You guys have pure Euphoria in JPEG pump fund trash, bro. See how tough it is? And everyone's like, no. But my PulseChain hasn't gone up. But my altcoins haven't gone up. But Ethereum hasn't gone up. No one cares, dude. That's what happened in 2021. Nobody cares. NFTs had like mind-blowing euphoria. XRP didn't. DeFi 1.0 coins didn't. You see, it's tough. So that's why what I do is I spent hours and hours and hours and hours looking at everything, and then the universe just came to me. I'm like, oh, when altcoins as an index are outperforming Bitcoin for multiple months in a row, this is my OTHERS-btc chart. This actually tells you euphoria. There's a promise you have to make. The promise is you will not look at your own portfolio and judge, which is like very, very, very hard to do. So basically, you gotta, like, if you get 6 green months, you have to say, you know what, man, you know, I'm only up 5.5x after 5 years. I thought I'd be up like 50x. I have to click out, and no one does. No one does. Well, out of the, like, say out of 100 top tokens, right? Yeah, there's the top 10 that do, and people don't even sell, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they're top 10 because they keep going. Yeah, so most people don't, so that's why 90% of people are just perpetually trapped. Yeah, it is like that. So it gets tough, man. That's why PulseChain might get a lot of people in, because these people are perpetually trapped. And I tell them, bro, it's a symbiotic relationship, bro. All the coins help each other out. And then you've got a billionaire who buys them. You know what I mean? It's the wet dream of them. They're like, oh, so the ecosystem helps itself? And you say, yes, my child. They go, oh, and there's a billionaire who buys the coins? We go, yeah. And it's deflationary and a buy and burn. Oh. See that? And this billionaire, he was in Bitcoin before it had a logo. He's got more Bitcoin than Michael Saylor. He's got more Ethereum than Vitalik. And they're like, oh. But by the way, they're only doing that because the candle's going up, by the way. We're like, bro, we told you the guy is literally here to smash it. Then they start believing on the way up, right? But then they go, okay, billionaire, how high are we going? He's like, that's Richard Hart. He'll be telling him, you know what? HEX did a 10,000x in the last cycle. And I was like, and he'll say, you know what? You don't even really understand market cap, do you? So remember, these people, they might be buying at like, 4x sack price, So someone is still holding. We're like, okay, let's do a 10,000x from here. And what they'll do is they'll go, whoa, let's go do a 10,000x, bro. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh, Pulse is going to 20 cents. Right? That's what they might say. We're going to 20. You know what I mean? That's how I know you're laughing now. You're like, no way, Sommy N's going to believe that. Let me tell you something, sir. Look how Rectum Rochelle, because he's like got a lot of money in PulseChain, when he speaks, people are like, even though he has historically anything he owns dumps. It's just funny. Now, I don't know. I don't think it's him. It's just like, there's no like super secret thing. It's just like, right? Yeah, well, what happens when Richard Hart bridges in 10,000 to BTC into PulseChain at 100K? That's $1 billion. He's like, beep. What now? Imagine he just does that, sir. And then imagine that happens when PulseChain's up here. You know what I mean? No one's going to be listening to me. But like, I'm not going to fight anything. Like, but literally, my opinion means nothing at that point. So this is what the crowd does. It's like where our ears and eyes become satellites, and we just like literally tune in to the radio signal that's saying 10,000x. Pulse is going to be going to 20 cents. They'll be tuning into that because that's what they want to hear, bro. They want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear, ha ha, you should have been buying when we were getting carked. No one wants to hear that. Right? No one wants to hear that. So that's just how it works. So yeah, and you put all of that together, and there you have exactly what we're looking at now, which is just another normal standard cycle. But remember, man, like I really do mean it. You know, I put OTHERS-btc, and then like I'm like, hey, I want a non-crypto reference. Can I get something exogenous outside of the system? Can I get it outside? Okay. Yeah, business ISM, bro. That's outside. I want outside. I want like something which like shows me on the chart things are up. But what you'll actually find is as this thing's going pinging up, you're like, yeah, I could tell ISM's 53, 54, you know? So that everything says the same thing. So it just, everything goes up together. There is no warning sign that it's about to end ever, ever, ever. That's why like I tell people as well, hey man, what you actually want is you want a signal to come in and tell you things are really bad and you've got to sell like 90% of your portfolio. You're not going to get that. You don't get that, okay? That's what you want, okay? What's realistic and effective as a strategy is things where I say like, look, man, I know you don't want to do this, but you might have to do this. Whatever your position is in your coins, you got to buy a bit more than you can afford to lose. So if you have like, you know, oh, I've got $5,000 in one coin, you might want to top it up to like $8,000. And then that extra 3 that you've put, that's your Jeet stack. You know, like, I mean, just for example, just throw it out there. Like for some people, one gentleman said to me like, hey, Somi, what do I do? What if PDI goes, whatever, up and down? I go, okay, bro, well, here's the thing. Just because it's a round number, like, hey, what I would be doing, okay, this is how you win, yeah? So you like stay sane. Let's say you got like a $5,000 position in PDI, yeah, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's going to stop at 10 cents or 20 or 50 or $1 if it's going to go up there. But what you do is you add more to your position. It doesn't have to be that coin, be any coin, okay? No crime in the casino. It could be just any coin. You're like, hey, instead of $5,000, add another 2. And you put that in another wallet, you go, oh, that's my Jeet stack. So if PDI gets to like, you know, if you're seeing like 3, 5, 10 cents, whatever it is, you go, hey, I'm just going to take profit at that point, just pay myself. That's because then you say to yourself, oh, I was never meant to have that anyway. Okay. That's actually how you win. That's the actual way to win out of this. The playing it like that. But what people actually do, that's like, okay, I'm a good studious student. I fold my own clothes. I like, you know, when the teacher turns around, I don't make any faces. That's like a good student. What people actually do, which is bad, is as the things go up, they get more leverage, get more credit card loans, they go buy more turbo long leverage, let me long BTC on this. Like, man, in 2021, what we were seeing were coins were going up. So what people were doing is they like come across an Crypto Bybit leverage trading video. They deposit money into Bybit or Binance. They'd long BTC with him on mega ping leverage, just so they could make profit and then rotate into the altcoin that they wanted to get because they wanted to get a specific supply of it. Because they're like, oh, I can only buy 300 of this coin. But if I put this turbo long Bitcoin leverage and I make this amount of money, when it goes to this 100K number, I'll be able to buy 1,000 of the coin and do that. And it actually worked on the way up. Yeah, until it didn't work. And then pretty much everything just kaputzed. So it's just crazy how we just become our own worst enemies during these cycles and stuff out here. But that's why I spend a lot of time and effort. And I've shown, well, OTHERS-btc, bro. This is what I've seen. But also you actually see it. Like as each green monthly candle repeats, we see weaker and weaker hands appear. But I use weaker hands, but it's not really. It's more aggressive, more aggressive, more aggressive. So it's very much, it's people in the market. I shouldn't even use the word weak. I call it emotional money. Like you're emotionally charged. You're so much emotional. Like you're so confident. Like, oh yes, we're pricing the world for a future result that's perfect. Because we are going to get perfect, right? That's what happens, you know? And then you realize, oh, crap, there's a fart in the wind. And then things start slicing down. And then so begins the cycle, right? And then you just see the whole, you know, oh, we got 15 good news in a row. Well, guess what? We're about to get 35 bad news in a row. You just don't know when it starts. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to get this repetitive though, sir. So just playing this out for everyone in the future. I don't know. It would be nice if we got like a full 6 green OTHERS-btc candles because that... You'll see literally by month 4, month 5, month 6, you'll just go absolutely blitz. But you gotta look at yourself in the mirror, and so do I. Be like, hey, You know, your portfolio has nothing to do with the market sentiment, right? Yeah. Like if your number, let's say you got a 10 grand portfolio now, you're expecting 300K, but at that others BTC mark, let's say it's 75K. You just have to say to yourself, okay, I picked wrong, which no one wants to do. Because by the time you admit you're wrong, it's down 50% anyway, minimum. Now you're back down to 35K. You're like, crap. You know, do I get out here? And you're like, oh, I'm only up a 3x, man. I'm not getting out. That's exactly what happened in 2021. No one got out because the numbers are so low. Remember, in 2017, we ran 300x for altcoins. 300x, right? Remember, this is others BTC. This is 300x USD. In this one, we only ran 10x on BTC. So around 10 to 15x. And then by the time it was over, it's back down. You're only up a 3 or a 4. You're like, what? You know, but we got to remember back then, people weren't putting in their life savings into stuff back in 2020. That was rare. Only like Gunther from HEX community, he put in like 36K DCA buying his whole wage for the year, and he turned it into like a theoretical thing. He had like 50 million at the top. Didn't sell because of staked and stuff, but that was rare. Now it's like, oh, everyone's got to put their life savings in, yeah, because the growth rates are going down. So hope you enjoy this, sir. Multifaceted emotional cycle analysis. We're going to make it still.